Football moves fast, but this generation is moving faster. Some of these names are already deciding Champions League nights, some are carrying giant clubs before turning 20, and all of them are redefining what young greatness looks like. This ranking gets serious very quickly. At number 10 is Myles Lewis-Skelly. He closes this list because the ceiling is obvious, but the most impressive part is how normal he has made the jump look. 8 Champions League appearances for Arsenal at 18 is not academy hype anymore. It is trust, responsibility, and top-level exposure. Reuters also highlighted his goal on his senior England debut, and that is the kind of moment that changes the way a player is viewed. He is not as complete as the names above him yet, but his rise feels real, fast, and hard to stop. From a fast-rising academy gem, we move to a player with even more raw chaos in his game. At number 9 is Estevao. In pure talent terms, he could end up much higher than this. But right now, this spot feels right because the flashes are outrageous while the full body of work is still growing. 3 Champions League goals in 7 matches for Chelsea is already a serious statement, and 4th place in the 2025 Copa Trophy adds real weight. Reuters called him a special talent in January, and that fits because he plays like someone who can change a match with one touch. Compared with Lewis-Skelly, the game is less controlled and more explosive. There is more volatility, but also more fear factor. And the next name brings something different again. Status inside a giant club. At number 8 is Kenan Yildiz. What lifts him above some other young attackers is not just output, but status. 1 goal and 3 assists in 10 Champions League games is solid, but the bigger message is what Juventus already thinks of him. A new deal until 2030. The number 10 shirt, and even the tag of youngest captain all point in one direction. Yildiz feels less like a prospect and more like a symbol of the next Juventus era. Compared with Estevao, he may not have the same wild unpredictability, but he already carries more structural importance. He looks like the face of a rebuild, not just a bright part of it. But the next player is already producing at Real Madrid. At number 7 is Arda Güler. This ranking rewards impact under pressure, and that is why he is here. 12 Champions League appearances and 4 assists show that he is already helping Real Madrid in games that matter most. Then you add that outrageous long-range goal against Elche, the kind of strike that instantly becomes a statement. Güler sits above Yildiz because the pressure around him is even heavier and he still looks comfortable inside it. He is not just surviving in a super club, he is producing for one. There is still room to become more dominant from week to week, but the creative quality is obvious. Still, the next name changes the mood of this ranking completely, because now we move to a defender. At number 6 is Huijsen. Defenders rarely get this kind of buzz unless they look special, and Huijsen clearly does. Reuters reported that Real Madrid activated a £50 million release clause to get him. In this Champions League campaign, he has logged 619 minutes across 7 matches with 87.43% passing accuracy. That may not sound as flashy as goals and assists, but for a young center-back at elite level, it is serious. He is here above Güler because top defenders with this combination of calm and range are incredibly rare. He feels like a long-term cornerstone, not a temporary trend. And from one rising pillar, we go to a midfielder who already plays like a veteran. At number 5 is Zaïre-Emery. The mix of age, mileage, and responsibility is what makes his case so strong. PSG officially marked him as their youngest player ever to reach 100 matches for the club, and that is an extraordinary number. In the Champions League this season, he has played 993 minutes in 12 matches with 92.09% passing accuracy. That volume matters. Compared with Huijsen, there is simply more proof at the highest level, and he has been handling major expectations for longer. Add the fact that he is back in the France picture, and the profile becomes even heavier. He is not just a promising midfielder. He is already a trusted one. But inside the same team, the next name adds even more elegance on the ball. At number 4 is João Neves. If Zaïre-Emery is about power and reliability, Neves adds rhythm, control, and elegance. 9 Champions League matches, 1 goal, 2 assists, and 92.67% passing accuracy is a serious midfield line for a 21-year-old. PSG did not take him from Benfica for a big fee just to wait. they brought him in to run games. Finishing third in the 2025 Copa Trophy also matters, because it confirms how highly he is rated beyond Paris. He edges Zaïre-Emery because his influence on tempo feels more complete right now. He can calm a match, speed it up, and connect phases almost effortlessly. And now the ranking stops being mainly about potential, because the top three already feel world-class in different ways. At number 3 is Pau Cubarsí. If maturity had no age attached to it, you would never guess he is still a teenager. Barcelona's official numbers show that he already has 121 first-team appearances at 19, which is absurd experience for a central defender. In the Champions League this season, he has played 9 matches with 93.67% passing accuracy, and that composure jumps off the screen. Cubarsí is above Neves because elite defenders who read the game this well at this age are almost impossible to find. He does not just recover danger, he prevents it before it starts. There is a quiet authority to his game that makes teammates look calmer around him. Only 2 names are left now, and both are already shaping the next era rather than waiting for it. At number 2 is Désiré. This is the point where talent becomes match-winning force. Reuters reminded everyone of his explosion in the 2025 Champions League final, where he delivered an assist and scored twice. That alone would have launched his reputation, but he has backed it up in the current campaign with 4 goals and 2 assists in 8 Champions League matches. The fresh France call-up in March strengthens the feeling that he has crossed into another level. Doué sits above Cubarsí because game breakers who decide finals and produce numbers like this can tilt the sport around them. He is direct, fearless, and already devastating on the biggest stages. But number 1 is the rare case where talent, output, pressure, and superstardom all arrived at once. At number 1 is Lamine Yamal. At 18, he is no longer discussed like a future star because he is already operating like a current one. 5 goals and 4 assists in 8 Champions League matches for Barcelona is elite production, full stop. UEFA also highlighted his record as the youngest player ever to both score and assist in the same Champions League match. What separates him from Doué is the total package. The weekly burden is heavier, the spotlight is brighter, and the sense of inevitability is stronger. Then March added even more youth milestones to reinforce the point. He is not simply the best young player on this list. He already looks like one of the defining footballers of the era ahead. That is what makes this ranking so exciting. Some of these players are already elite, others are one huge season away, but the scary part is how young all of them still are. The future of football is already here. Drop a like, subscribe for more football tops, and tell me in the comments who should be higher, lower, or who was unlucky to miss this list.